Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us. My name is Erich. I'm a product representative for the DTG Digital textile printers, and welcome to this virtual presentation. It's really good to have you with us. Firstly, a quick thank you to Mike and the warm introduction, and of course the entire team at FESPA for putting together this virtual event. To begin with, just thought a few comments about our company. We first launched the DTG printers all the way back in 2004, so we've been doing this for a little while, and obviously the industry has evolved a lot since that time. And what began with small format single shirt printers, mostly used in home-based and e-commerce type businesses, or as an addition to embroidery or merchandise or sportswear type companies. This has now evolved into large format type machines like our DTG M6, and these are increasingly being used in the garment manufacturing industry and often for print applications other than t-shirts, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that today. We have literally thousands of installations globally. We continue to innovate and look for ways to progress an industry that I think has reached a really interesting, exciting point in its timeline. We offer the best inks and pre-treat chemistry, and of course these all meet current test standards. RIP software has evolved to now include barcode job tracking, and we spent a lot of time developing new workflow solutions and streamlining the entire printing process from order in to job out, and that's regardless of whether you are a large-scale manufacturer or you run a home-based type business. So with all these years of DTG knowledge, we're confident that we can provide print systems that deliver a predictable and repeatable outcome for you. So DTG, more than just a t-shirt printer. I think everyone these days knows that the term DTG is synonymous with t-shirt printing, and by that definition DTG stands for direct to garment. But why not think outside the box a little bit? Why not print more than just t-shirts? Because the technology itself is certainly more than capable. So whilst t-shirt printing will probably remain a very popular and profitable type application, in today's discussion we're not going to focus only on t-shirt printing. Instead we will also cover other applications like fashion and home decor, babywear, and how DTG printers, particularly the large format M6, apply to these industries. So let's begin with fashion. The word fashion refers to popular or trending styles, and often this is associated with big multinational companies, but fashion is a personal thing. It's whatever you perceive it to be, and it's certainly not exclusive to large brands, nor does fashion need to be a trending style. Fashion can be associated with subcultures, social topics, and increasingly fashion can become personal. So DTG offers the perfect solution for that personalization. We have seen countless fashion brands emerge in the past decade, and this is only possible due to the digital technologies that are available today. These technologies allow for really high quality product to be produced in smaller quantities, and without the ability to do that, it's difficult for a label to get started. So in a modern digitally connected world, commercial success is not limited to only global brands. In fact, digital technologies greatly assist in developing startup labels, and this is one of the big driving factors that we've seen behind this huge shift to onshoring production. It's something that we see happening all over the world, and it is directly linked to digital technologies. The most common of these startup companies probably things like streetwear labels, typically skate or surfwear products, these types of prints, that's what I'm talking about. There are literally thousands of them that have emerged in recent years, and each selling their brand or displaying their message, all able to reach out to their audience through social media platforms. And all of these labels are as relevant in their own cultures or subcultures and to their own scale as what large global brands might be. I guess in some ways that's a bit of an obvious scenario, and I'm sure you're all very familiar with that example. But if you look at some of the pictures on your screen, you will see examples of how DTG technology is used to produce products such as shoes and handbags, belts, and we even see designers combining DTG with rhinestone or foil applications to create unique products with a really high perceived value. So how does digital technology help clothing labels? Well, DTG really is the key element here. It's now possible to offer 1 or 100 products at a touch of a button, and people are able to build a business model around that. But aside from DTG printers, other forms of digitalization such as cutting and finishing and digital sales tools like e-commerce websites enabled with designer tools, these allow companies to offer a unique shopping experience and deliver a finished product in a minimal time frame. There are payment gateways and shipment gateways available to plug into your website. Social media offers cheap and effective marketing. And you can even package your product professionally and make it look as though it was purchased from a high-end department store. After all, short-run packaging itself is available for the same reason as short-run textile. It's all enabled by digital technology. And I have no doubt that the online shopping experience will be further enhanced by augmented reality software. As this becomes more cost-effective and more widely adopted, a user can now design their own product online, and they'll be able to view it in 3D as well. It's really quite amazing stuff. So in our minds, digital technologies enables creativity and individualism to thrive, and it really is a combination of various digital technologies, all starting with the ability to actually produce a product on a DTG printer right through to e-commerce and social media platforms that provide a total solution. So how does DTG add value to the manufacturing process? Now, I can talk here about all the obvious DTG advantages, instant strike-offs, no screens, no mess, better for your inventory control and all that. But these are things that have been talked about 1,000 times already, and I think this is common knowledge. Where we have seen the biggest growth and the biggest take-up in production workflows, I guess, certainly in the past 6 years, is in cut piece printing. And as an example of that, this is what I'm talking about. So we're talking about panels being printed prior to manufacturing. So the garment manufacturing process in itself is changing. And that's not just a case for production that has been onshored. It is also happening to established manufacturers. Every day we hear from customers who tell us that orders are becoming smaller in quantity, but they tend to get more of them. They're becoming more frequently, and generally with shorter lead times. So as the demand changes, manufacturers need to be able to respond. So it's a proven fact that a production workflow is far more efficient and cost effective when printing cut piece panels prior to sewing and finishing. It's how clothing has been manufactured for decades, more than decades, forever really. And the efficiency of this process applies as much today as it always has, if not more so. It reduces waste, reduces costs, and response times are a lot faster, just to name a few. So we've seen a remarkable increase in demand for the M6, as the larger workspace is the only solution to this workflow problem. You can print seam to seam using DTG. All over prints on a finished garment can create absolutely amazing effects. But how do you do oversized prints efficiently when order quantities and lead times are getting smaller and shorter? This shirt here is an example. Printed all over, front and back. That came from a good customer of ours in Italy, and their typical order quantity is in lots of 200. And you just can't do that efficiently on an analog system. The only and most efficient way to do that is to print digitally. So we know how to add value to the manufacturing process. It's something we've been doing for many years. It just needs a little bit of thinking through. So I'm going to move on towards different DTG applications. And the first topic point is babywear. And not only is it a different application, certainly different to standard t-shirt printing, but it also ties in really well with the cut piece workflow we've just been discussing. So babywear is actually a very interesting DTG application, and that is for both high volume as well as customized babywear production. And there are a few unique factors that have come together perfectly for DTG to be so viable in this particular application. Firstly, babywear is typically printed using only CMYK. You don't really see black babywear. It's mostly white or very light pastels, pinks, blues, that type of thing. So we don't tend to print with white ink at all. And for obvious reasons, the designs are quite small. So the cost per print in terms of the ink consumption is therefore negligible. So talking about prints like this, small prints on small items. It literally costs just cents to print something like that. So the cost per print always meets the manufacturer's expectations. The second of these unique factors is that the large format M6 allows for multiple panels to be placed on the machine at any one time. So in the example that you see here, we can see 24 baby bibs placed in the machine. And this would take around about 3.5 minutes to print. So that means that a single operator can produce over 400 pieces per hour using a continuous workflow. And by that I mean, as products come out of the machine, they're taken off, we reload blank panels in, and that machine cycles at all times. It never stops printing. Now, when you consider the time that it takes to set up an analog system, artwork separation, screen exposure, washout, and so on, by the time this is set up, we can already produce thousands of prints using this workflow. And then, if you were to add numerous design changes into that scenario, which is easily done digitally, but not so easy with analog equipment, you'll find that digital printing on babywear is more viable than ever before. So there really is no production viability cutoff point here. And it really all comes down to the productivity and workflow solutions of the large format M6. And it's really just one of many examples where DTG is entirely viable in a production environment. Moving on to home decor. Also very interesting. Home decor is a rapidly expanding sector, a sector where DTG is used to decorate an endless amount of products. And particularly in the past 12 to 18 months, the pandemic years, this sector has actually seen amazing growth. And it really isn't surprising. With so many people locked up in their homes, it's no surprise that people have turned to redecorating. And again, it all goes back to digital technologies. It's what we've been talking about all along. From large format printers through to e-commerce platforms and so on, this is what has enabled this growth. After all, we can't go to a department store, we have to shop online. And interestingly, we have seen companies make the most of this opportunity and invest back into their businesses by creating digital sample books. These are then used for affiliate e-commerce sales programs to generate further growth. And with e-commerce sales projected to reach, and I read this somewhere recently, I think it was something like $35,000 million by 2025, and that's obviously all products sold online. But there's no doubt that there are huge growth opportunities for DTG in the home decor sector. And here's a little fun fact for you, and this is something that's not often discussed, but it's a key factor to home decor success. If you take any product that can be custom printed, folded up for small packaging and shipping, and it has a high perceived value, these are the strongest growth products in online sales. Products such as cushions, pillowcases, table runners, placemats, laundry bags, tea towels, aprons, napkins, throw rugs, blankets, and right through to ironing board covers, just to name a few. So if you need a little inspiration on this one, go and check out Etsy. You'll be quite amazed what you see there. So yeah, home decor is just another example where DTG can be used for so much more than t-shirt printing. And again, large format printers are the perfect match. DTG, now DTF enabled. So this is also quite an interesting new development. And it probably applies more to local print shops who use DTG machines rather than textile manufacturers. DTF is where an image is printed onto a film. It is then coated with a glue powder and can then be heat transferred onto literally thousands of products. And products you normally can't print on a DTG machine, either because the product cannot be held flat in the machine. That, for instance, this hat we've chosen to decorate on the peak, which you can't normally do on a DTG. Maybe the ink will not stick on a particular substrate. Maybe polyester fabrics, these are still not easy to print on the DTG process. So DTF takes care of all this. So DTF allows you to utilize machine in ways that you could not before. And, let's be realistic about it. We all look for ways to earn more money from our machine. So the more product that I can decorate and offer to my customers, the better. And the key here is that I can use the standard DTG inks. I don't need to use DTF specific inks. I apply some simple RIP software settings, buy a few cheap consumables, and I'm ready to generate new revenue streams. I imagine that, I run a local print shop and I supply everything from DTG printed shirts to workwear and printed business cards and so on. My customers, they kind of expect me to be a one-stop shop. So if I'm selling a DTG printed shirt, I have to be able to offer them DTF printed bags, compendiums, totes, conference, satchels, rainwear, umbrellas, wallets, and it just goes on and on. So it's really just another example why DTG is more than just a t-shirt printer. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a little bit mindful that I'm using up more than my allocated time slot here, so I'll probably finish the presentation at this point. I could talk forever about new applications, new ideas, and how we fit DTG printing into a manufacturing environment, but hopefully the information shared here today has given you some insight and inspiration. If you do want to learn a little more about what we do, please feel free to reach out to one of our representatives. We have demonstration centers all over the world, including our very own demo center located just outside of Amsterdam, and you're always welcome there. So thank you for joining us. I hope the presentation was informative, and hopefully soon we can do this on a face-to-face basis at FESPA Amsterdam. Best of luck with your DTG printing projects, and thank you once again for joining us. Bye.
Welcome, Jerry, live from Australia, and also Rod in Holland from DTG Digital Europe. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mike. How are you?
Very good. Thank you very much for that presentation. I was actually really interested there to find out that you now have the DTF solution there for the DTG range of products. What does a customer need to do to use that machine for DTF?
Well, they can actually use their standard machine that they have now. So we've really just developed some profiles that plug into the RIP software. These sort of adjust the ink levels a little bit so that we don't get any flooding on that film. And then from there, literally, it's just print on the film, follow the instructions, use the glue powder, and you're ready to transfer images onto all sorts of products. So it's actually a very simple process. And I'm glad it's come along. It's given DTG, in its entirety, a bit of a boost, that we can now print products we normally can't.
Fantastic. Interesting. Also, you talked there about the Babywear solutions, and we had a message in the chat earlier on from talking about bio inks, and I would imagine that when you're printing on items like Babywear, the environmental aspects, the safety aspects are quite high. What inks do you use? Do you have an option there in terms of using more of a water-based bio ink for those solutions?
Yes. So the inks are all considered eco-friendly inks, water-based. They've all been Oekotech approved, GOTS approved, things like that. So they've gone through all the testing standards, and all the SDSs are available for anyone that wants to pull those apart and actually learn what it says. So certainly the inks do meet the criteria in that sense, and for Babywear in particular, that's critically important.
Very good, exactly. And also in terms of the platens and the jigs for all those various items that you were showing there, is that something that DTG Digital offer as well?
We do offer a variety of jigs and platens and standard sizing, but on the large format machines, what we can actually do is particularly in the cut piece printing that we were talking about, we were able to literally just use that entire field area and map out how we lay our products in there to utilize that space as much as we can to increase our productivity. So yeah, there's a few tips and tricks there that we have, and that's generally, all that information is imparted by the technical support teams when machines are installed and commissioned.
Exactly. And I also know the group, I know the group very well in terms of your pigment ink technology as well, which is, and that profile of machine is perfectly placed for those home decor markets that you touched on there earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. So, both solutions that we offer, the roll-to-roll and the DTG, they kind of supplement and complement each other a little bit. So, there's definitely a crossover there where the two actually fit within the one environment.
Fantastic. And I know also that you've got a range of products for more like promotional products. I think, what's the name of the machine again? Is it the compress? I'm trying to remember
the compress UV, correct, yeah. So there's essentially 3 to 4 product lines that we offer, yeah.
Fantastic. So you've actually got an incredible product range which offers opportunities and diverse markets for many of your customers there. Excellent. And now, of course, we've got a live demonstration later on there from the Dutch office. How has everything been since the start and the launch of DTG Digital Europe, which is easy for me to say?
Well, it's going really well.
Good afternoon, Holland.
Yeah, good afternoon. Thank you very much for introducing us, Mike. My name is Erich. They call me Rick. I'm manager in Europe. Our team and I are centrally based in Europe, in the Netherlands, not far away from Amsterdam. And at our premises, we have our office, some stock of machinery and some stock of spare parts, and also consumables to serve our dealers and end users in Europe, Middle East, and also Africa. We also have a 200 square meter showroom, wherein we have the latest models of machinery. DTG panel printers, DTG Gotex roll-to-roll printers, including pre- and post machines, and the full range of our compress UV flatbed printers that you were just talking about. This, of course, also offers us the opportunity to give demonstrations here in a demonstration room and training for our dealers. Thank you for introducing us. Thank you for your time.
Fantastic. No, good to see you guys. And of course, you're available throughout the rest of today and tomorrow for all to come and join you and learn a little bit more about DTG Digital. Jerry, good night, Australia. Thank you really much for staying up and joining the event. I think you're going to be on an all-nighter and enjoying the rest of the event.
I think it goes through till about 1 a.m. for me, and that's fine. I'm up for it.
Fantastic. Thank you, guys. And of course, for more information on DTG Digital Europe, please do join them in the product demo area.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, guys. Take care.